The Bambu Lab A1 and the A1 Mini are some of my all-time favourite 3D printers, but they're not perfect. Big Tree Tech have sent me a whole pile of upgrades, and in this video I'm going to tell you what's worth having and what's not. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. Now, you won't see a lot of upgrades videos from me because most of the things that people call 3D printer upgrades are actually just modifications. That is, they change your 3D printer, but they don't actually make it better. So, how many of Big Tree Tech's Panda range will make the cut and officially be branded an upgrade by me? This range of parts designed for Bambu Lab printers is called Panda because, well, pandas love bamboo. I quite liked that when I heard it. If you see anything here that you want to buy, then check out the links in the description, which will take you directly to the correct part for your printer. So, what do we have? Well, quite a lot actually. First off, we have the Panda PWR or Power units. What these basically are is a Wi-Fi enabled smart plug and power monitor that enables you to remotely switch the power to your printer on and off and monitor how much power it's using. I love using smart switches with my 3D printers because my printers are in my workshop and often I'm not. A smart switch on the power supply enables me to turn the power on to my 3D printer from inside my house, so that as long as I have filament loaded, I can actually start the print without having to go out in the cold. I can then switch the power off again once the printer has cooled down after a print is finished too. Where the Panda versions excel though is that they have a permanently powered USB port and another one which can be switched remotely too. This obviously means that you can power other USB devices, but being able to remotely switch things like lights on and off is a big plus. The Panda Powers are only listed as being compatible with Bambu Lab's X1 and P1 series and the A1, but I can confirm that they are fully compatible with the A1 Mini. All that you need is a plug adapter that I bought for just a few pounds on Amazon. To take full advantage of the Panda Power's full feature set though, you have the option of using the next product on our list, which is the Panda Touch. The Panda Touch is a 5-inch touchscreen which enables you to control your Bambu Lab printer while wandering around your house. You can also control multiple Bambu Lab printers if you have them, as well as accessories like the Panda Power. The integration is quite nice, and from one touchscreen you can control a whole host of printer movements, start and stop prints, and if you have a Panda Power, even turn the printer on and off. There's also the option to have your 3D printer turn off automatically once it's cooled down after finishing a print. The only thing it can't do is let you watch the printer's camera feed, which is a shame. The Panda Touch was originally designed for the P1 series, which only comes with a small screen and a lot less options at the printer. It therefore has a switch that enables you to switch between being powered by USB-C or by its own internal battery for around 30 minutes. You can also switch it off, and it comes with a magnetic plate, so you can just clip it back on to charge. If you're standing next to your A1 or A1 Mini, then the Touch doesn't really offer anything extra in the way of functionality other than to control those accessories. And I haven't actually found that I've used it that much with the A1 series printers other than to turn the power on and off. If you don't have any Panda Power units, then the Touch maybe doesn't offer you that much. Also, it is possible that future Bambu Lab firmware updates may stop the Touch from being able to control your printers, so bear that in mind if you buy one. Any Panda Touch can be converted into a K-Touch to control Clipper-enabled devices, but you can't control Clipper and Bambu Lab printers at the same time, unfortunately. You can control the Panda Powers without the Touch, but it's through a bit of a clunky website and I wouldn't recommend it. Now, as good as printers like the A1 and the A1 Mini are, there are some jobs that are just a bit beyond their capabilities. Instead of investing in an expensive new machine for some of those odd jobs that are beyond the capabilities of a home 3D printer, think about using PCBWay. Have a look at the PCBWay website and you'll soon see that they don't just supply PCBs. PCBWay are fast becoming a one-stop shop for anything 3D printed, CNC machine, metal fabricated, or even injection molded. In fact, PCBWay are pretty much capable of making anything you can dream up using their huge range of manufacturing methods. Their 3D printing services are probably going to be the most interesting to people like you and me, and they can now print with all the 3-letter acronyms like SLA, DLP, FDM, SLM, and SLS. If you don't know what any of that means, they can print with pretty much anything it's possible to 3D print with, including metal. Check out their website from the link in the description for an instant quick quote to see what it would cost to bring your latest idea to life. Next up, we have the Panda Branch. The Branch confused me a little bit because I couldn't really see why I would need it. However, that's because I was already using the Panda Power units, which have the additional USB ports. If you don't have a Panda Power, then the Branch offers a lower cost way of getting powered USB ports, kind of like a USB hub, but powered by your AMS port. If you want to add a USB powered accessory like an LED light to your Bambu Lab printers, then there aren't any powered USB ports that you can use. The Branch gives you 4 5-volt USB ports right at your printer if you want them. One of my criticisms of the A1 series of printers was that the lights aren't bright enough, and using a USB port from either a Panda Power or a Branch, you can add a USB powered light to help see things a bit clearer. You can add third-party LED strips or a standalone light, but very recently released, we now have the Panda LUX LED strip, which is quite clever. Just like a standalone LED strip, you stick it to the underside of the X-axis gantry, but the clever part is that it has a light sensor that sits over the printer's original low-powered LED and switches the more powerful LED strip on and off when it sees light from the standard LED. This means that you can fully control this brighter LED strip all from within your Bambu Handy app or Bambu Studio on a PC or Mac. I really like this clever integration with the stock setup, and it means that you don't have to buy any other accessories to get the most out of your LED strip, as you would have to with the third-party LED strip that I put on my A1 Mini. As yet there is no Lux for the A1 Mini, but I wouldn't be surprised to see one soon. Next up, we have the Panda Claw. The Claw is a replacement gear set for the A1s and uses a golden RNC nano coating on the hardened steel extruder gears and a brass spur gear. The idea is that these parts will be more wear resistant when using things like abrasive filaments, but I can't say that I've seen an issue with the standard one as yet. Only time will tell how well this part lasts, but what I can say is that it's easy to fit and I can't see any negative effects on prints. And now we get to the beds. Biqu sent me 7 different double-sided beds, which gives me a total of 8 different printing surfaces. 4 of these surfaces are PEI, but with different patterns. One is PEO with a diamond 3D pattern, one is PET with a carbon fibre pattern, and the last 2 are Biqu's new Cryogrip Beds with 1 frostbite and 1 glacier. Of the 4 PEI surfaces, there is a rough texture, which is a straight replacement for the standard bed, a smooth surface, and then a bed with a honeycomb pattern one side and a houndstooth pattern on the other. The PEI beds all seem to offer the same kind of actual grip, especially with PLA, but leave a different pattern on the underside of your print. Which one of these is better looking is subjective, but it's great to have all of the options at a good price, and all of the beds are double-sided. Both the PEO and PET surfaces offer really good grip, similar to the PEI surfaces, and each one has a PEI reverse side too. Both prints from these beds look great too, and personally I think the diamond 3D pattern is my favourite. All of these beds are direct replacements for the standard plate and attach in the exact same way with no adjustments. The only thing you might want to do is select different print surfaces in your slicer. The Cryogrip Beds were the ones I was most interested in getting my hands on, but I was a little confused about what they were each supposed to do. The rougher frostbite surface supposedly has the better grip strength, but if you use it, you are limited to only using PLA and PETG filament. My confusion came from some of the information appearing to say that 0 bed heating was needed, but then other information appearing to say that temperatures of between 30 and 50 degrees were needed for PLA, for instance. I decided to test it out for myself by printing some very small parts with no brim, which wouldn't be possible with 0 heat on other beds. From my testing, I can confirm that when using PLA and PETG, the frostbite bed needs 0 additional heating of the bed. I was also testing it in an unheated workshop that was only around 11 or 12 degrees C. This is really impressive and will represent not only a cost saving in power usage, but it also helps avoid some of the other negative effects that can be caused by having to heat the bed, like elephant's foot, and potentially also prints warping as different parts cool at different rates. Next, I tested the glacier surface in the same way, starting with no bed heating in a cold workshop with PLA. Whilst the first layer did go down quite well, it wasn't long before some of the smaller pieces came away from the bed. I then repeated the same print multiple times, gradually increasing the bed temperature until the print was successful. With this particular fiddly print, I found that 40 degrees bed temperature was needed, which is right in the range that Biqu advise. However, with the glacier surface, you're not just limited to PLA and PETG, so I tried some other filaments too. Some of these filaments are notorious for being difficult to print on bed slingers, but using the recommended temperatures, the glacier bed held on well, even with filaments known to warp easily like ABS. So, having tested everything, what do I class as an upgrade and what is just a mod? Well, my favourites are the LUX LED strip and the Cryogrip Beds. The beds enable you to do something with your printer that you couldn't do before, namely print with either no heat or much less heat, depending which one you get. The Frostbite is great for zero heat with PLA and PETG, but if you want to print with anything else, then go with the Glacier because it allows you to print with many different filaments without an enclosure. I would definitely call both of these upgrades. Next up is the Panda Power, which offers more functionality than a standard smart switch in that it has USB ports, one of which can be remotely switched on and off. However, if you don't have a Panda Touch, then switching them on and off isn't as smooth as a standard smart switch. I think the decision of whether to buy a Panda Touch or not comes down to your particular setup. If you only have one printer, then you probably won't find much here that you can't already do with the Bambu Handy phone app. And not being able to see the camera feed also loses it some marks on the upgrade front from me. As I said, the Branch is kind of like a USB hub, which is great if you need the ports, but otherwise it doesn't really let you do anything extra with your 3D printer. My verdict on the Claw will have to wait until a lot more hours of printing are complete, as it seems to try and solve a problem that I didn't know existed. If people are wearing out their extruder gears, then this should definitely be a great upgrade. I'm just not sure they are. And then the pattern beds do give you some nice different patterns for the bottom of your prints, and they are nice to look at, but I would definitely put them all firmly in the modification rather than upgrade camp. Remember, there are links to everything I've talked about in this video in the description, where you'll also find the best prices and deals for you, so check them out if you do decide to buy anything here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.